So I have talked quite a lot about my July book and which book I'm going to use and so on, and how to set it up. And I think I've settled on this one because I just can't. I was going to use a more junk journal-y kind of book that I prepared and did a flip through of. And while I really like this one and am going to use it for something, it just feels wrong right now. I need to be in my usual kind of book, a Leuchtturm, even though I will allow myself to use it a little bit freer. And as you can see, I've inked it and it seeps into the spine, whatever I do. Especially the green. The green tissue paper I've used is very, very dense. Like the color is really, it really seeps out. So most of the pages are green to some extent. Oh, this is the one. So I'm just going to go through how I'm going to use this one, and it's mostly the same as it ever is. So at the front I will make a pocket to house my ruler and any pieces of paper that are important that I want to carry around. Then I'm going to put my calendar for June and make my my weekly spreads, and then my next action context spreads for, planning. But since I will be off work during July, I won't have as many of these next action contexts because my work context won't be there, only my home ones. So these are just, I've put the tabs here to put them in when I've cut down the Dutch doors. My tracker. Then I am going to put my weekly memories here, and I have inked the book in sort of unicorn colours because that's, I think July is sort of purple, like a light purple, pinkish purple. So many of the pages are like that, but I also like to have some turquoise, some green because it's summer and I like to bathe, whatever. Gratitude and wins. So, I should say, I've counted out 4 spreads for the memories, as usual, 1 spread per week. And for the gratitude and wins, in June I have had those on opposite sides like this. Also a spread per week, which has worked very well. So I'm going to continue that. I like to have it separated from everything else. And I'm not going to prepare these, I think. I think that's kind of the thing about my July book, that it's going to be very free and I don't have to embellish if I don't want to, and it's not really as structured as my books usually are. Dailies begin on this spread. Totally free, I've written. I'm going to use 1 spread per day. I did this in January and found out that I couldn't fill the pages, but I'm going to try again because I've been using 1 page per day for a while and I don't know, it feels kind of cramped. Sometimes I think I'm not going to fill it up, but then I use like big pens and write in a big cursive, and yeah, so that doesn't mean that I have to fill 2 pages per day, I think. So maybe some days it will just be 1 page, but I want to be able to, I don't know, make art journaling spreads as dailies and more. I'm not going to track things on my dailies as I have done. I've put, in June, I've put dinner, what we have for dinner every day. I've put the movies and TV shows we watch and what I read and so on. And in July, I'm going to track that in special lists back here. We'll come to that. So I don't have to write on the dailies. The dailies will be much more spontaneous, and I will highlight whatever felt most important about the day instead of having to put these like listed things every day. So these pages are really, really pink. I've been using tissue paper, then I sprayed the pages and put tissue paper on them, and this is what happens when you don't smooth out the wrinkles very much, which, you know, I kind of like it. I don't want it on every page, but it makes for it's almost like tree branches or like water that is rippling and reflecting the light. This, I don't know, it looks like crisscrossing twigs or something. So this is all the same. I haven't done anything with the pages, just inked them. I haven't embellished. And here we start seeing the green that has invaded everything. But I might put washi tape or some other kind of border here to cover it up. But at the same time, you know, does it really matter? I don't know. We'll see when I get to these pages. If they bug me, I will do something about it. And I really love when it turns out like this, like different colours that sometimes they tend to mingle and become brown. I don't like that. I like when you can see that, oh, there's red and there's like golden brown and green and maybe some pink or purple. I love colours. I love them. Especially jewel colours. I don't like when it becomes like this, like there's purple and then yellow on top of that, and it becomes this kind of non-colour, very nondescript. And oh yes, new tab, which means it's a new section. This is my development section where I write about like energy, inspiration, feelings, relationships, bodily problems. I have aches and pains everywhere, and mental stuff like work and problems, you know, intellectual kind of stuff. And for a couple of months I've used one page per day and divided the page into 4 sections for the 4 different sections that I journal about. But now I have tried for a few days in my June journal to use the whole spread and just have a line across here. Or not even a line. I don't need a line. I can eyeball where that break should be. So yes, I'm going to journal about that kind of thing on these pages. So it will be covered with longhand, whereas these dailies spreads will be more art. I will draw and embellish and write big and maybe put, you know, quotes and stuff, and maybe just put one word over a whole spread. You never know. Oh, I love this. Pink and turquoise and some green and even purple. I have been using some marker water as well on these pages, so not only tissue paper. I use tissue paper, crepe paper that I spray with water to make the colour seep out, and Ecoline watercolours. I love them, they're really vibrant. And what was I saying? Yes, marker water. That is when you put markers, like for example, some different, well, I'll show you. That's easiest. This is a pink, not bottle, what's it called? Jar, where I put some different pink pens, a brush pen, you know, markers and different fine liners, and then I put water in, And as you can see, the color seeps out of the pens and you can paint with it. So I've used that as well on these pages. Oh, lovely. I almost don't want to cover this in anything because it's so beautiful. But that's the point, to make your journal beautiful, so you want to use it. I really am all about the coloured backgrounds. It's very important to me. This looks like it's underwater. And I love when it turns out like this. I'm not really sure why it does, like these freckles. The darker blue there. So it really is very unpredictable, and I like that. How it's going to turn out. Okay, new section, morning pages. Another tab. So I might embellish these with like bookmarks and washi tape and stuff. I haven't been doing that for a while, but I do like the look of it when I do. These are supposed to be white, these pages, but never mind. It doesn't really matter. And then I have a final section back here with lots of tabs along the top here where I keep my lists, or I am going to keep my lists. And I have tried this out in my June journal, so I know that I like it. So this tab is for food. So I'm going to put what we eat for dinner every day. This is for entertainment, so I'm going to put what films and TV shows we watch, what I watch on YouTube, books that I read, if I read. This tab is for house/garden, so if I do something around the house that's not cleaning or tidying, but more like visionary stuff, renovating or rearranging stuff. This is for the cabin, so I'm going to put, so this is for home house stuff. Cabin house stuff goes here, and also, no, that's it. Creative stuff, so things that I write, crafting, drawing, painting, all those things go here, because it's nice to have a list of things that you did at the end of the month, so you don't have to go leafing through your dailies to find out what you accomplished. No, you have lists back here. And this is for health. I have two health tabs here. One is for exercise, so I put everything I do, like walks, how long I walk, cycling, strengthening exercises, all those things, and whether it was easy or hard, because different days are, it's some days it feels like you can do anything, and other days it's really a chore and you don't really have the energy or strength. And here is for other health stuff, so any major things about my shoulder, my knees, my back, all those things. And these things will be based on what I journal about in my development section, which is more explorative. So I write about my health here, like bodily problems, as I was saying before. But I write like very unstructured, and I write every day. Here I only put the big things, like I got a cortisone shot in my shoulder, or I suddenly twisted my knee, or I'm feeling better, I can get into a boat, or whatever. Because I think it's important that it's easy for me to get at that information, like if I have a doctor's appointment or something, that it's all gathered in one place. So I should have done that before, but I didn't. But you live and learn. Finally, no, not finally, because we have one down here as well, but I have a cleaning tab, tidying, so I put I do my new routine, which is working very well, jinx, where I only put in 5 minutes per room. So I set a timer and tidy or clean for 5 minutes in a room, and then I have to stop. I can't continue in that room. If I want to continue cleaning or tidying, I have to go into another room and do it. And it's really, for someone as, how can I put this nicely? I like variety. I get easily bored and I don't like monotonous stuff. I want new things to happen all the time. So knowing that you only have 5 minutes in a room really helps to make you feel like, well, I can do this, because it's over really quickly. And if I want to continue, I need to go somewhere else and do something completely different. So yeah, so far it's really working out. I've done it for a little over a week and it's still working. So the rest of the pages, I'm thinking I will fill these spreads up, some of them, and then I just continue on these pages and put new tabs there. And at the very back of the front book, because this is going to go into my system, which means there will be another book back here. But the final page here is for planner plans. So what I want to do in my August journal. Next book with the planner tab down there. Yeah, so I'm feeling optimistic about this thing. It will probably fall apart like all my books do. Not physically, but I rearrange stuff as I go along. But it feels nice to start a month in a structured way and feel like, you know where everything goes and what you're gonna do throughout the month. And then if you change things up, that's okay. I mean, I think it's okay, because it's like, it's almost, okay, this is kind of I'm going off on a tangent, but at work I have noticed that at the start of the year or the half year, I need everything to be really structured, so I know where everything is, and every little detail set down in a very organized manner. And then the further I get into the swing of things or the year, the less structure I need, because I've been looking at these project pages I have so many times for so long that I almost know it by heart, so I can be more spontaneous, creative, unstructured as I go along. And I feel like it's the same thing with each monthly book, that at the start I want to feel like now it's going to be so, well put together, and and then, after a couple of weeks, it's like, no, I'm gonna change it up, and that's fine. Because when I look back at these books, it's not that important that they're super structured. It's when I'm using them that feeling is important. So anyway, enough blathering about that. This will be a joy to use.